Evening. Hope we're all keeping well. I felt like it's been a little while since I've done anything on this channel. If you didn't know, I've got another channel which is related to FPL Fantasy Premier League, and that launched on Monday. So any spare time I've had has been dedicated to that. So I've not really had a chance to do much on the Robin's Nest. So I thought with a bit of spare time I had today, I thought I'd go live, chat to you lot, and go through what's happened. You got Tom in the chat. Good to see you, Tom. Hope you're keeping well, mate. What were we going to cover? There were three things I wanted to cover. Marcus McGUANE, unfortunately leaving. We'll do him first, shall we? We'll cover him first. I think this is McGUANE. No, it's not McGUANE. Oh well. I will. Where's the tweet? Let's find the tweet. Yeah, obviously McGUANE's left. What do you guys think about that one? What do you guys think about that one? I'm a little disappointed to see him leave, but at the same time, if he didn't fit into Struber's plans and he wasn't going to get any minutes, there's no point keeping him. A lot of people in the comments were not so happy about it, but I can kind of see both sides of the story. Is that right? Yeah, there we go. If he's not favoured by Struber, there's just no need to keep him because he's not going to get any minutes because there's 5 players for the same positions, you know. He's a good midfielder, don't get me wrong. He was brought in by Manning, obviously suited Manning's style. Played well, to be fair, whenever he featured for us, but it's just one of those things, isn't it? We thank him and we move on. I just think, yeah, I agree, Spencer. We had too many. And when you think of the 5 midfielders that we had, right? Knight and Randall. Randall brought in this summer. He's obviously going to be a favoured one. Williams and Bird. I'd probably keep both Williams and Bird over McGUANE. And also, I don't think Williams would fetch a bigger price in the transfer market as McGUANE would. I don't know. Anyway, I think it's a fair bit of business. So we've now got 2 players basically for each position. And yeah, we were overloaded in midfield, weren't we? And needed to strengthen in other areas. So I can understand the move. Got Ben in the chat. Oliver up the city. Some random football genius. Tom, where are you going before the Valladolid game? No plans at the moment, mate. What were you thinking? My plan was to walk to the ground and watch the game, to be honest. Yeah, people having meltdowns. Yeah, absolutely. Spencer Luton thought that one of our midfielders would leave as we have far too many. He wasn't bad, but I think club want to keep wage bill down. Exactly. And we have Randall. Ewa Woowa, we need to strengthen in other areas. Absolutely. Tom, Struber seems to like players with energy and drive. McGUANE is more of a sitting midfielder. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Even all, come on you Reds. Indeed, mate. Going with my dad and my dad's friend. Nice one. Well, come and say hello to me if you see me on the concourse or whatever. We'll see, Ralph. So I've got an update on one transfer, actually. I feel kind of responsible for it because I feel like I started the rumour myself. But Tyrese Dolan, I don't think he's going to sign for Bristol City. I've had some information to suggest he's probably not going to sign for Bristol City. What was I going to say? Yeah, I just don't think we can afford him. And it might sound mad, right, not being able to afford him, even though he's free. But a free transfer is still not free. So you would have to pay a compensation fee to Blackburn. And then you would also have to pay an agent's fee. And I think if you're going to get Dolan, who's heavily linked to, well, he'll be linked to other championship clubs, right? The agent is going to be playing games to drive up the fee. I just don't think it's possible to get him, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I don't think it's possible to get him. And yeah, I think it's still 1 in, 1 out with the club at the moment. Like, if we get rid of one, we bring one in. And that's the kind of thing that works, really. You think we will get Pacarada? I hope so. I'm not too sure about that one either, to be honest. So I feel like I've been sparking my own little rumour mill up, haven't I? But so I had information that someone was at the high performance centre, like a new person, but it was actually our new assistant head coach. It wasn't Pacarada. So I don't think he's going to sign for us. So yeah, well, I don't think he's going to sign for us right now. There's nothing linked. I would personally want us getting a left-sided defender. I think we need one. I still think we need a goalkeeper. I still think we need a left-sided keeper, and I don't think we've got good enough strikers either. just my view. So yeah, we need a goalkeeper. That's for sure. I do know, from information I've got, let's say, I do know that we are active, but I'm not sure there's anything solid yet. Unpopular opinion, but Cornick will play well in Struber's system. I guess we'll see, mate. I guess we'll see. Right, so we've covered Marcus McGUANE. We've covered DOLAN. We've obviously got a pre-season friendly tomorrow against Cheltenham. I thought it'd be a nice idea to pick the team. How about that? Does anyone want to do that together? So I figured when the season gets going, right, and this channel is going like full whack for the season, what I'll probably do is match previews and match reviews, and then maybe one stream a week. Quite like doing the live streams, to be fair. So they'll probably all be live streams. Or the Nahki Wells interview. Yeah, we'll cover that, shall we? That's a very good point, Liam. Thank you for that. So my friends at one stream in Bristol, and we've had an offer for Vyner, haven't we? Of course, bid for Vyner. I'm slow on the news today. Sorry, I've been at work all day. Right, let's have a look. We'll look at their Twitter page, shall we? So Ron Walker, our good mate from Sky Sports, dropped an absolute bomber today. We rejected a 1 million bid from Derby for Zack Vyner. What do you think about that? 1 million for Vyner. Is that a fair price? I think that's a bit of a piss take, to be honest. How much would I take for Vyner? 2.5, 3 million, I think he probably is. 2.5, 3 million? I just think he's more than a million, isn't he? He's a championship defender that played 45 games. He missed one game last season. I think he's a £2 million plus player. The only problem is he's in his final year of his contract, but I feel like he'll re-sign. I feel like he's going to re-sign. I don't really have much more than that, to be honest. We do have, in fact, I'll just go back to this screen because it's quite telling as to what's going on. So let's find him. So I'm pretty sure it's it is. So it doesn't take much working out to know what has happened. It doesn't take much working out, and all I would say pretty factual. So we had a statement. I'm not going to play this because you should go and they deserve the credit for this. I'm going to leave a link in the chat to it. I'm not going to play it for you because one stream in Bristol deserved the credit, and you've probably seen it already. There's a link to the tweet for you yourself. So they got an exclusive interview with Nahki Wells, which is pretty freaking cool. And in that interview, it basically transpired that Nahki Wells was not treated very well by Bristol City, let's say, this summer, especially since the new manager came in. And I'm guessing his name's Ollie. He quote tweeted the clip of Nahki Wells talking about his treatment with a picture of Brian Tinian, who's obviously our technical director. And Nahki Wells alluded to a certain individual not necessarily treating him very well. Let's just put it that way. Ol quote tweeted picture of Brian Tinian with the quote, and then Nahki Wells. Nahki Wells himself liked the tweet. And then not only did Nahki Wells like the tweet, Tommy Conway liked the tweet as well. So that happened this week. So I think I don't need to say anything on that or provide any opinions. I don't think that's pretty obvious. That's pretty obvious. We'll go back to their Twitter page. Yes, we obviously have McGUANE leave. The 1 million bid for Vyner came in today. What do you guys reckon of that Nahki Wells situation? Let us know in the chat. Let us know what you make of that. It also, I saw a tweet, I don't know if it was Ollie, that tweeted it himself, but hindsight is a wonderful thing, isn't it? But if we kept Tommy Conway last summer, gave him the wages that he wanted, we'd probably be better off, wouldn't we? I mean, we signed Sinclair Armstrong in Fally, whereas we could have just kept Tommy Conway. Obviously, the bridge has been burned there with Tommy, I think. But yeah, could you imagine a different scenario where that happened? Apparently, Vyner is a high-wage player. I'm sure he will be, mate. But yeah, you got some info on Conway's situation. I do too, mate. It certainly doesn't sound like it was handled particularly well. So what I've heard, again, not 100% sure it's true, but he was initially offered a sum of money for the contract renewal, and then it was reduced. And then obviously you're not going to accept. Come on. Just think of this scenario, right? You're looking for jobs in the supermarkets. Tesco are offering you £9 an hour, right? You know the going rate at Asda is £8 an hour, say. You're going to go to Tesco, and then when you go to sign on the dotted line, Tesco tell you, "Oh, sorry, we're only going to pay you £7 an hour." You're gonna quit that and go to Asda, aren't you? That's the scenario that I've come up with for that. But I think if you get to some point where like tensions fray and stuff, the player kind of has to go, don't they? I can see City. Roger saying I can see City struggling this season with the Lansdowne. They haven't got a clue on football. I don't think it's lacking a clue. I think it's lacking investment. And I think when you talk about the Lansdownes, I think particularly Steve is potentially in a position where he wants to sell the club. Has he like actually openly said that he wants to sell the club? I'm pretty sure he has. To the right buyer. So, and when you look at like financial statements and stuff from previous years, the amount of money that has been paid in by the owners has gone down. So, I mean, it suggests that he potentially wants to sell. Yeah, Armstrong was hopeless against Newport. Mayouli didn't come off the bench. I think that's pretty telling, isn't it? That's pretty telling. Suggests to me that they're at the bottom of the pecking order for me. But this is also some random football genius. This is where I sort of sit between two fences. I wish the Lansdownes invested more in the club, but likewise, the way that they've operated it, he's a shrewd businessman, right? Steve Lansdowne. He owns Hargreaves Lansdowne, right? One of the biggest like investment banks, I think, in the UK. He knows what he's doing when it comes to managing money in business. There's no way he doesn't. But he's run it like a business. And I think for a football club to be successful, an owner needs to run it by just chucking money at it. That's the only way I think you can actually get to the Premier League now, is if you have an owner that just absolutely chucks money at the situation. But it's the better the devil you know thing for me, because yes, you know, we could have done better with them, but at the same time, could you imagine another situation where, I don't know, we have the Sheffield Wednesday owner, or an owner like they've got at Hull, or an owner like they've got at Reading? You know, these are all clubs that have spent time, I think Wednesday have, or at least two of those clubs have spent time in the Premier League and are now in a real big issue. So, yeah. I think it's better the devil you know. Shall we pick? Unless you've got any other questions for me, I wanted to pick a starting 11 for the game against Cheltenham, if anyone was interested in doing that together. I'm just trying to pick my formation. What formation am I going to... I'm going to go 3 at the back. I'm going to go for a 3-4-3, I think. No, 3-4-1-2. I'm going to pick. It's got to be Lumley in goal, hasn't it? I don't think I've specifically said this on the channel. I have said it on Twitter. I know we've seen the highlights of Lumley, right? We've all seen the highlights. And he does look prone to an error. But this guy is going to be our goalkeeper for the next 3 months. And I think it's our job as fans to back him. Even though, you know, things doesn't seem to be great in terms of his like record of mistakes. I think we have to back him, you know. Back 3, we play Plymouth on Saturday as well. Of course we do. It's going to be a mixed team then. I guess we're just picking a Bristol City 11, aren't we, in that case? Back 3. Vyner's got to be on the right, hasn't he? Surely. Who's on the left? Atkinson. I think he's banned for the first Prem game, isn't he? But he's fit, so he's got to play, I suppose. Knight LaBelle and Morrison starts. Yeah, I give you that. I'm not sure about Knight LaBelle, but I think I'd play Morrison. I'm not sure if we can get him. Is he there? He is. We'll stick him in, shall we? Right wing back. I'm going Sykesy. Knight and Randall. Knight and Randall. Twine had a good game against Newport, didn't he? Emil Reese. He's got to play, hasn't he? Then, who plays next to Reese? Who plays next to Reese? I'm waiting for someone in the chat to say Sam Bell, so I feel I feel correct. I'm not looking at what that advert is, by the way. That was an interesting advert. Okay, it was a tenner. Fair enough. I see what people are saying. McGUANE, I don't know, mate. It was an undisclosed fee. Undisclosed. We've got a few shouts for Armstrong, Sam Bell. Someone's not Sam Bell. Okay. Oliver has said Bell, Yeboah, Cornick. Sinks can learn so much from Reese, in my opinion. Hope so. Yeah, I'm of the mind that Sam Bell deserves one more chance. One more chance. What is with these tenor adverts, man? Am I going to get banned for showing that? Sorry, I can't turn them off. I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, but it's ridiculous. Sorry, I can't not look at it. Sinks can learn from Reese. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to pick. I'm doing that. What is with this advert? Am I being advertised tenor? I don't want tenor. We'll go Yeboah. Oh yeah, Fally. Okay. Should we be nice to him? Should we be nice? Let's give Fally a go, shall we? Let's give Fally a go. I think that's probably how I'd line up. I reckon. Yeah. Another tenor advert. Brilliant. We'll go to the solo screen. I think that's pretty much it. That's everything I wanted to cover. I don't think there's been anything new this week, has there? I wanted to cover DOLAN because I feel like I almost started that rumor. So yeah, I wanted to cover that. I just don't think we got the cash for him. I think even though he's a free transfer, his agent's going to demand a big fee, and we're going to have to pay Blackburn some compensation. I just don't think we can afford it. We had a bid for Vyner, million bid for Vyner that's been rejected. Hopefully, would you want Vyner to sign a new deal? I probably would. I wouldn't necessarily say he's one of our best players, but he played 30, sorry, I was going to say 37. He played 45 games for us last season. Who else have we got? McGUANE left. Again, it's sad to see him go, but I think it's the right decision considering we had 5 centre midfielders at the club and we're probably only going to play with 2. So I think that made sense. What else have we got? Yeah, and what's going to happen with Mayulu? I guess, I don't know. I think the fact that he didn't feature at all against Newport, at all, suggests that Struber isn't a big fan. I think will we start to see more go out of the club now? There, I hope so. There was a rumor that Rogers. I'm still in FPL mode. There was a rumor that Roberts was off to was it Stockport, wasn't it? Well, they were interested in him. I think if I were to look at our squad this week, on Monday, and say who do you think are most likely to leave, I'd say it's probably McGUANE and probably Roberts as well. Those were the 2 I thought could leave. Tinian out. Do you think the team against Valladolid will be the team which plays against Sheffield United? I think it would make sense to pick a strong team in that game, wouldn't it? I think it would make sense to pick a strong team. Highly likely. It's just whether Dickey features or not, I suppose. Yeah, and the problem we got with Cornick is I think he's quite happy at Bristol City, to be honest. I know another club will be in for him, but in order for a transfer to happen, another club will need to want him, And I'm not sure, I mean, do you think many clubs are going to be in for Cornick? That's one thing that has to happen. And also, the player has to want to leave. And I'm not like, I don't know, I think Cornick's pretty happy. He seems pretty happy. In all of the social media stuff I've seen, he seems pretty happy. That's what I'm going to say. Why has McGUANE left only here for a year? We had 5 players in that position, mate. I think if there was going to be an offer for him, we'd have accepted it. Sell Roberts, sell Vyner, sell Armstrong, sell Mayulu, sell Tinian. Job done. Interesting. Cornick is good for the team. I felt the whole club loves him and he can play a pressing system. We do obviously love... yeah, Cornick's wife's a Bristolian, exactly that. When's his contract up? I actually don't know that information. I hope so about Sinclair Armstrong. Hungry Dossery said, Sinks does a lot of one-to-one training outside of regular training sessions. I hope so, mate. I don't think we'd have signed him if we weren't convinced he worked hard. He was so good, though, I'd have rather if we sold Williams. Yeah, he was good, but I think he had qualities that we don't necessarily need in a Struber system. I just don't think his qualities align too much with the system. What does your team look like first game of the season if no more transfers are done? I think it's pretty similar to this, mate. I think it's pretty similar to this. I would probably, just because he scored like 4 goals in 4 games, didn't he? From left wing back. I think you've got to pick Ross McCrory on the left if you don't sign anyone. Dickey can't play, can he? Oh, what have I done? What have I done? This is all going wrong here. So obviously Dickey can't play. So we'll get rid of him and put Roberts in. I think Roberts is going to have to play. And who plays up next to Reese? Probably Armstrong, isn't it? It's Armstrong or Bell, really. There we go. It's that, isn't it, really? I think that's the team. Would you be too upset if you saw that as the team? First team of the season? Would you be too upset with that? I'd be quite happy, to be honest. I think that's the best 11 we've got that we can field against Sheffield United. And you do a shift up front. I think he can definitely... I'm probably not giving him enough credit, to be honest. I'm probably not giving him enough credit. Sorry, my phone's going mental. Yeah, I'll probably line up with this team. Right, I have to go and get some dinner because I'm scheduled to go live on my FPL channel at 9 o'clock. So I need to have a bit of dinner and then get ready to do that. Thank you everyone for joining. How many of you had watch? 180 people. It's unbelievable. Honestly, the support that I've had on this channel, I'm just very grateful. I hope in return you're enjoying the content. Sorry that I've had a bit less time to do Bristol City stuff this week, but FPL came out on Tuesday, so I've been... Oh, sorry, on Monday, so I've been full attack on that, really, with any spare time that I have. Yeah, we'll leave it there. I'll catch you in the next one. Just trying to think when that might be. We got a couple of pre-season games, haven't we? Friday, Saturday. When are we playing? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. I don't know if you guys get this, but my search engine keeps getting defaulted to Yahoo, and it's terrible. I'm just searching Bristol City pre-season fixtures. We'll go on the website together and see if we can have a look. Fixtures and results. Thank you, Tom. I really appreciate that, mate. That's women's team. Oh, men. Let's see if we can work it. Fixtures. Yeah. So I guess we play a split team across the two. Obviously, Cheltenham's barely anything. It's a 40-minute coach ride, isn't it? Who do you think will be the most improved player this season? I was just looking at our friendlies. Who do you think will be the most improved player? I think he's got every chance to be Yu Hirakawa if he gets minutes, I reckon. I don't think we saw the best of Yu last season. I think he's got a good potential, him. I'll give Struber 6 months. Can't see him staying with Lansdowne in charge. The bloke needs funds to spend. Thing for me is, I think you'd only accept the Bristol City job if you knew about that going into it. I'm sure they would have asked about that in the interview. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Cheers, everyone.